Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
There we go. Live from the new studio, as I've been talking for like 5 minutes. The new studio, home studio here in the greater Boston area. As you can tell, not a finished product yet. You probably can hear a bit of the echo in here. Not everything is up yet, but at least we're not at my local public library. So that's a big win. We are live on YouTube as we are, high noon Eastern time, every weekday. For those of you newbies, we're getting new people to the channel every single day. Check out the YouTube channel. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm Cam Stewart, Zach Burke, keeping us on the air. We are talking Boston today, baby. Okay. James Hagens, the next savior of the Bruins. He is going back to college. What can Bruins fans expect from him this year? What is the benchmark? What does he need to do to impress you guys once again? Plus, we will look at a debate on the last two Red Sox GMs. There are some people finally coming to my side and thinking that Chaim Bloom was doing a better job than what Craig Breslow is doing right now. I'll tell you exactly why that's correct. Plus, one of the rookies that's absolutely stealing the show at Patriots training camp, how this player can slot in and become the next big piece of Drake May's Patriots offense. All that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. But we start where we start. Whether he likes it or not, whether you like it or not, James Hagens is going to be billed as the savior for the Boston Bruins going forward. In fact, the only way that he doesn't get kind of the savior expectation is if the Bruins suck even harder this year and get Gavin McKenna #1 overall. Then, okay, pressure's off you, Jimmy. Gavin McKenna is going to be the generational prospect. But right now, the Bruins being able to get James Hagens at #7 when he was slotted as the #1 pick throughout points of this season is still a big steal. And it's someone the Bruins can finally get behind as a prospect. This fan base can finally say, here's our guy. He's going to come up and help us. There's finally some hope in this room through the form of James Hagens. And I know there were some Bruins who were like, oh, who needs college hockey, man? Have him come up this year. The Bruins need him now. Well, he has made his decision. He's going back to BC this year. I think it's the absolute right call. I know a lot of Bruins fans think that way as well. Adam McQuaid, who ran development camp, says that. He says it's going to benefit him, continuing to ramp up the commitment level and consistent impact he's capable of having. That's the big thing for a lot of young players. Consistency, night in, night out. Not always going to be perfect. Bring the effort. That's what's going to help him here. And Hagen says, look, I've got unfinished business. We were the #1 team in the country last year, and we didn't win jack shit. Like they won the Hockey East regular season, which is something. But he says, I want to win the Bean Pot. I want to win the national championship. I'm a BU Terriers fan. I don't want him to win either of those things, but I do want him to grow. And there was this knock on Hagens in this last season that he only scored 11 goals. I've had people in my comment section. I know you guys have seen it over social media, all these rankings, everything. How can we rank him as a top 10 prospect? How can he be a steal at #7? He scored 11 goals. Yes, that is one way of looking at it. That is one very archaic way of looking at it. He only scored 11 goals last year. And that's going to sound pretty bad if you're just going to say that. What you could say is that he was a point-a-game player. He had 11 goals and 26 assists. That's good for 37 points in, you guessed it, 37 games. As an 18-year-old who played the first 2 months of the season as a 17-year-old in the best conference in college hockey, which is now one of the best pipelines to the NHL you can have on the entire planet, Hockey East. And he was a point-a-game player, deferring to Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault, who he will not have on his line this year. So, yep, you could say he scored 11 goals. Or you could say he was still one of the best prospects at any level of hockey, and he was a point-a-game player as a 17/18-year-old in Hockey East for the Boston College Eagles, replacing guys like Cutter Gauthier, Will Smith. It's another way to look at it. Maybe that's just me looking so much on the positive side. But now it's time. Now, last year I thought was good enough. 37 points in 37 games. I just gave you the context. But now this year, he's going back, draft year +1. That's so important with all these prospects. What do you do now? because with the way this Bruins roster looks and how good a team they're going to be this year, there's a window for him to be a part of this team the last week or two of the regular season, which will be the end of the Bruins season. Okay. There's a window for that. So you've got to put it up this year. You know, people didn't like only having a point a game a season ago. What are you going to do for me this year? BC is going to be loaded again. You're not going to have Ryan Leonard or Gabe Perreault, a couple of NHLers on your line. But the way BC produces talent, they'll probably have a couple other NHLers. In fact, one of them will probably be Teddy Stiga, who was a second-round pick for the Nashville Predators. He will probably be on the line with them. He had a big World Juniors last year, scored the golden goal. But what can we expect from Hagens is the next question. Because he gets these comparisons a lot now to Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. And everyone on the planet but Mike Felger loves getting that comparison to James Hagens. I mean, we're talking about a 100-point guy, a 24-year-old who is one of the future faces of American hockey. And you saw where the Devils were with him and where they were without him. They were a team making a division push with him, and they were a hapless 3 seed who didn't have a shot in hell against the Carolina Hurricanes once Jack Hughes went down. Turns the puck over a little bit. Oh, boo fucking who. He scores 100 points, 90 points. I'll take that if I'm the Bruins. But in the exercise here of looking what James Hagens can be and can do next year at Boston College and what Bruins fans are going to look for, Jack Hughes comparison doesn't really help us. Jack Hughes didn't play college hockey. He didn't have a draft year +1. His draft year +1 was with the New Jersey Devils. So I thought, who else can we compare James Hagens with and look at those guys and their numbers and their draft year +1, and preferably guys that played in the NCAA. They didn't play in Hockey East, but I did pick 2 guys who played in the NCAA in their draft +1 year. First one, Dylan Larkin. If James Hagens turned out to be Dylan Larkin instead of Jack Hughes, would you guys be okay with that? I sure as shit would. I'd be very okay if he turned out to be Dylan Larkin instead, who's been a captain of the Red Wings for a while now. Terrific two-way player. And you saw the way he played with Team USA when he finally had a lot of talent around him. He was one of the best players on the ice in that Four Nations tournament for the United States. I'd take Dylan Larkin. He was picked in the first round, 14th overall in 2014. Then he went on to the University of Michigan. 35 games at Michigan, 15 goals, 32 assists, 47 points. Does that just explode off the page? Is that Adam Fantilli and Macklin Celebrini? No, it's not. It's pretty good, though. 47 in 35 games. I'll take that. I think that's a reasonable expectation for what you could see from James Hagens this year. And now Larkin, for granted, a team that has not made the playoffs yet, that's been pretty close that has not made it. They have a lot of other issues, and so do the Bruins. But he's a pretty consistently their leading scorer, 70-point guy, 200-foot game as a center. Would you not take that? I'd take that 9 times out of 10, 11 times out of 10. I would take Dylan Larkin as a James Hagens comp. If James Hagens becomes that, the Bruins are in pretty darn good shape. And again, wasn't putting up 70 points in college. Wasn't putting up Hobie Baker type of numbers for a pretty good program in Michigan, much like we see with Boston College. So it's not going to take an earth-shattering season. The other guy I hear him compared to a lot, Logan Cooley. One of the most underrated players in the NHL right now. One of the best, brightest young stars that we have in this game. Is a Logan Cooley comp or a Dylan Larkin comp going to be as sexy as a Jack Hughes comp? Probably not. But 3-4 years from now, that Logan Cooley comp is going to look pretty friggin' good. Cooley, similar situation, man. Number 3 pick in the draft in 2022. Did his draft +1 year in the NCAA. He did it at the University of Minnesota, and he was fantastic. 22 goals, 38 assists, 60 points in 38 games. An assist a game in the Big Ten at the University of Minnesota. And Logan Cooley now, for a team that's on the rise, Logan Cooley in 2 seasons has 109 points in the NHL. He is 20 years old. He was 18 in that season at the University of Minnesota, just like what James Hagens is going to be this year, 18 and 19. And you look at a guy in Cooley, 109 points in 2 seasons, 65 points last year as a 20-year-old, and both seasons being 20-plus goals. We'll take that in a heartbeat with Hagens, man. There's not much more you can ask for than that, right? So when you look at that and you do the Jack Hughes comparison, I'll do the Jack Hughes comparison as well because Hughes didn't play that draft +1 in the NCAA, but 112 points in 50 games for the National Development Program, which obviously Hagens played in as well. He had 102 points in 58 games. As prolific? No. Pretty darn close? Yep. pretty darn close. Pretty darn close to that. Any of those comps for me is far, far good enough for James Hagens. And that's why the savior treatment is going to be there. So what to expect? Let's get back to that question. What do you want to see from James Hagens this year, playing for one of the best programs in all of college hockey at Boston College? Does he need to win the Hobey Baker to win you over? Does he need to be a 70-plus point guy in college hockey? The answer is no. He doesn't, as we can prove through Logan Cooley, through Dylan Larkin. Doesn't need to be that. Doesn't need to put up a Macklin Celebrini season. Doesn't need to hit Jack Eichel 71 points. But I think he should be between 50 and 60 points. In fact, I think he should probably be closer to 60 than 50, but anywhere in that range, I think is a good sign for the Bruins. Because he's going to learn a lot of other things too in year 2. Okay? Let's see if he becomes a penalty killer. Let's see how his faceoffs improve. Let's see what the 200-foot game looks like. I'm critical of the Bruins making these centers, trying to make them all into Patrice Bergeron and stunting their offensive talent because of it. But he is a center. He is going to need to learn more of a 200-foot game. He's got great hockey IQ. That, to me, sounds like someone who can become a terrific two-way center. You're going to learn that at BC. And it's going to be so much better for him to be in that environment, learning the intricacies of the game, rather than, scoring on opening night, everybody going nuts, and then not getting a point for the next 10 games in the NHL. This could take some time, by the way. And the Bruins probably won't get out of the gate very hot. And we'll be watching Boston College games. And James Hagens going to be there with 2 new line mates. He had 2 last year that finished the season in the National Hockey League. He's not going to have that right away. Okay, he's going to have to learn to play with these guys. And so it might start slow. That might be a part of this. But a 55-point season from him, 18, 20 goals, I'm taking that, man. I'm taking that 10 times out of 10. So for me personally, I expect James Hagens to be in the Hobey Baker conversation. I expect him to be getting votes in the top 5. I expect him to get at least 50 points. And if those things happen, he will be a Boston Bruin by the end of the season. And I think that would make us all very happy. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What do you expect from James Hagens this year? What is the kind of production that makes you happy and excited as a Bruins fan that this kid might be your savior? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you loved the drafting of James Hagens at number 7 overall back at the end of June. And let me know if you like his decision to go back. Again, get involved in that comments, get involved in the live chat. Guys, this has been absolutely skyrocketing the last few months, and still over 90% of you are not subscribed. That helps me out a ton. It's totally free. Subscribe, and you will find us here every day talking nothing but Boston sports on this channel, talking Bruins, Red Sox, everything else going on in the city. So check out the YouTube channel, see the other stuff we have going out there, and find us here every day on YouTube and wherever you find your podcasts. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. We're not done just yet, so don't go anywhere. We got some more topics. We got Red Sox comparing some GMs. Why Chaim Bloom was much better than you might have thought. And I know some people will try to argue with me on that. I'm all about it. I'm all about hearing it. And there's a guy who's absolutely standing out in Patriots training camp. So thank you guys for tuning in and staying with us, and get involved in this live chat. I mean, I love bringing up the live chat here. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. The rave reviews are just coming in left and right here. Veronica back as she is basically every day, one of our loyal P1 listeners. Ben, thank you. I don't know if Hagens is going to be good. Yep, no one does. I'm not God, so I don't. I appreciate that though. Yeah, he was picked number 7 overall, but I'm sure he's dog shit. Yes, and it is clickbait content. That is something you will see from us every single weekday is clickbait content, because I do want you to click on it. Clickbait does not mean a lie. I just want you to click on it. But let's talk about the Red Sox, okay? And let's talk about their GM battles. Everyone hates Craig Breslow now, just like they all hated Chaim Bloom before. But which one was actually better? That's coming up next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Visit roguemediamusic.com for more music.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com.
And now, back to our show.
Let's do it. Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, new home studio. Tell me how bad the echo is in the comments, please. I got to work on it. But we've talked Bruins. We talked James Hagens and what to expect from him at BC this year. Definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. I understand why some people are like, hey, let's let him figure it out at the NHL level. But he's still 18, man. He's 18. Like, let's get him some more games. Let's get him some more experience. Again, as a Terrier, it sucks to say, but they got great coaching over there. They could develop guys at Boston College. It's possible. It's no BU, but it is possible. So interested to hear what you guys have to say about that, because now we got to talk some Red Sox. Man, I am in on this friggin' Red Sox team. I've been in and out like 15 times this year, but like I'm in. It's August. They've won 6 in a row. They just swept a team that's going to win the division out west in the Astros. But boy, do they not have a playoff lineup. Jesus. They just swept them. You know, they probably should have swept Minnesota for whatever that's worth for you. They took 2 out of 3 from LA. They're going for the series win tonight against Kansas City, again, for whatever that's worth for you. But, you know, you can say they're playing shit teams. The Yankees just played a team that was under 500 when they went into the series against the Marlins, and then the Marlins swept them. And the Yankees lost again last night. That's 4 on the bounce for them. And so the Red Sox are now challenging for the AL East, which made everyone all the more pissed off that they didn't really do anything at the trade deadline. it was such a disappointing trade deadline for these red-hot Red Sox that people are starting to wonder just how bad Craig Breslow is at his job. For like the 10th time this season, we are wondering, how bad is this guy? How bad is Craig Breslow? And I saw this tweet yesterday that said, this might be a hot take, but I think Chaim Bloom did a better job than Craig Breslow. And my man got dragged in the comments. Oh, it's the worst take ever. Chaim fucking sucked. That guy ran us into the ground. He set this franchise back 10 years. And I'm looking at this like, am I the biggest Chaim Bloom fan in the world? No. But in what way did Chaim Bloom set the Red Sox franchise back? That's what I'm not understanding. Like, where is this revisionist history coming from? And why do we let the owners off the hook entirely when it comes to Chaim Bloom? Chaim was a sacrificial lamb after doing actually a pretty good job. Was he frustrating at times? Absolutely, he was. Do I think they could do better than Chaim Bloom overall? Yes. Did Chaim Bloom do a better job than Craig Breslow's done so far? Yes. Very much, yes. Because let's take a look at the context that each of these guys went into. I think that's really important. When Chaim Bloom was hired in October of 2019 to be the Red Sox CBO, he had a mess. The Red Sox were way over budget. David Price was coming off a horrible year and owed $30 million. Chris Sale just started a 5-year extension worth $29 million after coming off a career low 25 starts that last year, was already damaged goods, and was going to have Tommy John before the next season. Was going to have Tommy John surgery before the next season, his age 30 season. And, oh yeah, Mookie Betts was going into the final year of his deal. And the directive as Chaim Bloom came in as CBO of the Red Sox from ownership was, you've got to find a trade partner for this guy. Make it work. So Chaim Bloom comes in with handcuffs on already. One of the 3 or 4 best players in baseball is on his team, but you've got to trade him. And he needs an extension for wherever he's going, or else you're going to get nothing in the deal. And at the time, there was pretty much 2, maybe 3 teams that could go and get Mookie Betts and sign him to an extension. It was the Yankees, no way, the Mets, and the Dodgers. So he's not dealing with 29 other teams that want Mookie Betts, because of course they all do. He's dealing with 3 teams that want Mookie Betts, including one in his own division and their biggest rival. That was an absolute shit sandwich he walked into for lunch when he got here. And we can rue the Mookie Betts trade all day long. It sucks. It's going to be one of the worst moments in the history of this franchise. But it's not on Chaim Bloom. It's not on him. He didn't put them in that situation. And did he get the best deal possible? Probably pretty close, because you threw in Price in there, and they ate most of his contract. So you weren't going to get this laundry list of the top 5 or 10 prospects in baseball. You weren't going to get that. You got arguably their top prospect in Alex Verdugo, who had already played in the major leagues at that point. You got a legit catching prospect who's one of the worst players in all of baseball, Connor Wong. Alex Verdugo sucks pretty hard too. But like, you got something. And I know you're saying, oh, you got something for Mookie Betts. But again, this is what good GMs do. That's what Friedman does. He's a good GM. He knows the Red Sox can't deal with anybody else. He holds them over a barrel. So Chaim Bloom immediately is just being held right over the fire. And when Chaim Bloom gets hired with the Red Sox, they also have the 30th ranked prospect pool in Major League Baseball. 30th. Out of 30 teams. We are barely, like, bottom of the barrel scraping would be like a gourmet meal for this. Their top 3 prospects were Tristan Casas, Brian Mata, and Bobby Dahlbeck. They had nothing when Chaim Bloom got in here. And we're going to come back to that prospect pool because that is what really makes Chaim Bloom's tenure so good in retrospect. Again, frustrating at the time. I'm right there with you. But he comes in with the 30th ranked prospect pool in MLB. By the time he's fired 3 years later, they've got the 16th ranked prospect pool in MLB. And going into this year, 2025, when all the prospects were basically all still his, they were the 3rd ranked prospect pool in MLB. This great generational trio that the Red Sox have, they're all Chaim guys. Christian Campbell, a comp pick in the 3rd round from when they let Xander Bogaerts walk on an 11-year deal as a 31-year-old. Good move, Chaim Bloom. Marcelo Meyer, number 4 pick in the draft when everyone thought they were going to have to go pitching, and Jack Leiter goes off the board, and all of a sudden the kid who was ranked as the number 1 prospect who had fallen to 4th is right there in the Red Sox lap. That's a Chaim move. Chaim did that. And oh yeah, how about the 3rd round pick, 79th overall, that Chaim Bloom puts his nuts on the table and signs over slot. And all he does is become the best prospect in baseball in the future of this franchise, Roman Anthony. They're all Chaim guys. Everything that's exciting about the future of this franchise, except for 1 or 2 guys. The exciting young core of this team is Chaim Bloom. It's not Craig Breslow. It's not. And Breslow's made some good deals. They're few and far between, but signing Alex Bregman, great deal. If they don't extend him, that's ass, okay? So he makes a great deal by bringing in Alex Bregman. Hopefully it's more than a 1-year contract. The trade for Garrett Crochet, awesome deal, man. You got an ace that's locked in for the next 6 years or whatever it is, and he is going to be the face of your rotation for years to come. Should be an all-star, top of the rotation, ace kind of guy. Wonder how you got him. Oh, yeah. You made a trade with the White Sox in a package highlighted by Kyle Teal. A first-round pick by, you guessed it, Chaim Bloom. Even the ones that don't make the major league roster are making the team better. That's all Chaim Bloom, man. Braden Montgomery's Chaim Bloom, too. He's another guy in the deal. So I'm hearing people saying these hot takes that Chaim Bloom might have been better than Craig Breslow. You think? You think? And look, were the results what we wanted them to be? Absolutely not. That's why I'm not going to say Chaim Bloom was the next Theo. I'm not saying you could have done better than him. You ended up doing worse by getting Craig Breslow, but I still think you could have done better than him. They were 5 games over 500 in his tenure with the Red Sox as CBO. And it's not like he was bringing in a bunch of big money free agents. In fact, Bregman was the biggest big money free agent since, well, Trevor Story, who at the time looked like the worst Chaim Bloom signing. And he was battling injuries each of his first couple of seasons. And now, as the Red Sox are finally starting to win, a huge reason why is Trevor Story. Okay, I'm not just saying like a little bit of a reason why is Trevor Story. I'm talking about like he is one of their best hitters and one of the best hitters in the league right now. AL Player of the Week, Trevor Story, 476 average, 3 homers, 8 RBI, and a 1.6 OPS as they're on a 6-game winning streak. Top 10 in the league in RBI this season, 69. Very nice. Since June 1st, he leads all of baseball in runs batted in with 46 RBI. Even Chaim Bloom's worst deal turned it around and is helping this team win right now. Even his worst signing, which now looks like Masataka Yoshida. Because if you look at the major free agent signings, Story went from a loss to a win. Yoshida's a loss. He's my least favorite player on the team. Kenley Jansen, kind of a win. Gave up on the team at the end. You were just in a spot where you didn't really need a top-end closer that badly because you didn't make the playoffs. So, más o menos. Devers, extending him, I see that as a win. The next guy traded him for nothing, absolute peanuts. But that was a win of a contract for the years that you had him. But what was Chaim Bloom really bad at? Chaim was not good at the trade deadline. Every year we were so pissed off at the Red Sox at the trade deadline, not unlike this year with Craig Breslow. But when you look at the one team that Chaim really had a shot with, I think, 22 and 23, it was a lot of fool's gold there, right? I mean, they were good. They were 500 or above in each of those 2 years of the trade deadline. But they didn't have depth. They didn't have the roster they had now. It was a bit of fool's gold. And part of that's Chaim's fault, 1,000%. And those trade deadlines were infuriating in the years under Bloom. But the year that they actually had a shot and to push towards the playoffs in 2021 was because of two signings he made on the cheap in the offseason. Kike Hernandez, who carried them to that ALDS series win. Hunter Renfroe, who had 30 homers and had an OPS over 800 that season. He hasn't hit 30 homers again. He's going to retire here. He made those moves before the season, and they had the depth in 2021. And at that trade deadline, all he did was go out and get Kyle Schwarber. A guy they never should have let walk, which Chaim Bloom let him walk. But right there, by trading for Kyle Schwarber, already much better at the trade deadline than Craig Breslow is, who brought in Dustin May and Steven Matz and a team that desperately needed some top-end pitching and comes up with some bullshit excuse saying there's no untouchables, but no team likes our players. Top 3 prospect pool in baseball, but no team likes your players. Yeah, I'm not hearing it from Craig Breslow. Bottom, was Chaim Bloom the savior of this team? No, he wasn't. Chaim Bloom was frustrating at times. It was a frustrating tenure. But he left this team much, much better off than when he found it. And if the Red Sox win anything big over the next couple of years, it's going to be because of Chaim Bloom's guys. Bregman and Crochet will be huge parts of it, no doubt. But so will Trevor Story. So will Roman Anthony. So will Marcelo Meyer. So will Christian Campbell. So will, remember in 2022 when Chaim Bloom traded his starting catcher, Christian Vasquez, to the Houston Astros, a team that never gives up good prospects? Oh, yeah, you got Wilyer Abreu. He's going to be a part of that too. So when you look back at the Red Sox World Series team in the next couple of seasons, Craig Breslow will probably be the GM who gets the World Series ring and will get some credit, but it's going to be a lot of Chaim's guys that get him there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who was better, Chaim Bloom or Craig Breslow? And how frustrating is it that they couldn't get better than either of those two guys? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are all in on this Red Sox team finally making a run again. Over 90% of you watching are not subscribed yet. It's completely free. We come at you every weekday, high noon Eastern time, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. So check out the channel, talking Bruins, Red Sox, everything else going on in the world of Boston sports. It's called The Cam Show because my name's Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Coming up, a lot of people were so pissed with the Red Sox trade deadline, they were ready to move right on to football season. And there is some excitement building around this team. And there's some excitement building around this one rookie. Probably not the rookie that you think. We'll tell you who this Pats youngster is that's got everybody in a tizzy. Coming up next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kit Bag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kit Bag. For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us on our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
And now, back to our show.
Back here on the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. It's called that because I'm Cam Stewart, your host. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. Coming off the back of the Pete Souza Show, which is on our network right before us. You can catch us here live at high noon Eastern time every weekday, and then wherever you get your podcast as well. So subscribe, ring that notification bell, get notified every time we're dropping video segments and these live streams too. We have talked about the Red Sox, the GM debate. We have talked about James Hagens and what to expect from him next year at Boston College as the Bruins savior coming through the wings. Now let's talk Patriots. Okay, because people are starting to get real excited about this, even though there's a great Red Sox season going on right now. Training camp well underway in Foxborough, and the people are in a tizzy over this Patriots rookie. No, not Will Campbell, the number 4 overall pick in the draft, but instead Travion Henderson, the running back out of Ohio State. A guy I was pretty skeptical of the pick at the time, not because the player stunk, not by any means, but because, are the Patriots really in a position where they need a running back here? But seems like all signs are pointing to, yes, this was a heck of a pick, because this tweet on Monday got everybody going. This is from Jordan Schultz. I just realized how poorly it shows up on the screen here, but I'll read it to you because I do have it here. A lot of excitement within Patriot circles about rookie running back Travion Henderson. Everyone knew about his home run speed and explosiveness, but multiple team sources have also emphasized his elite pass catching and pass protection abilities. Words like special and difference maker have been used to describe him. Surely feels like New England has a super dynamic young back for Drake May to lean on. Is that not exactly what Patriots fans want to hear right now? A weapon for Drake May, someone who could protect Drake May? How about getting 2-1 with Travion Henderson? What a huge, huge upside this kid has. And again, I was skeptical of the draft pick just because you were using a pretty good premium spot, a number 2 draft pick, second round, on a running back. And I just think the Patriots need so much more than running back. But the kid was a stud, man. He led the Big Ten in yards per attempt. He had 1,000 yards on the ground, 7 yards per carry. He was catching the ball a little bit, 27 catches for 284, 10.5 a catch. First down machine when it came to that, and was a big reason why Ohio State won the national championship for an offense that didn't really throw to the running backs all that much. I watched a lot of Ohio State last year. Okay, 48 career touchdowns in his 4 years with the Buckeyes. That's not bad, man. Kid's got a nose for the end zone. Big, physical enough back that could be potentially an every down back at some point in the NFL. Probably not right now, okay? But where he does factor in, where Travion Henderson is probably going to be special for this Patriots organization, is in the passing game. I mean, how many times have we seen it with a Josh McDaniels offense? All the best Josh McDaniels offenses have an elite, slippery, pass-catching back. And that's what Travion Henderson can be. You know, you look back in the not-so-distant past, at least for some of us, Kevin Falk, Shane Vereen, James White, Dion Lewis, Danny Woodhead was a Bill O'Brien guy. But those offenses all kind of operated the same way, and these guys were huge parts of it. The guys who set the record for receptions in a Super Bowl twice, Shane Vereen, James White. Wasn't Gronk, wasn't Randy Moss, wasn't, you know, some of these, it wasn't Terrell Owens in that great game against the Patriots in 2004. It was these running backs. These running backs were doing that. Guys catching it out of the backfield for Brady. And we just saw how important that was for years and years. Take what the defense gives you, dump it off to your back. 3rd and short, 2-point conversions. These guys are ultra dependable. And if Travion Henderson can be that, that could be the start of something truly special for this Patriots team. Because again, how much have we talked about it? Drake May needs a weapon. Drake May needs a safety blanket. Drake May needs someone who can protect his ass. Travion Henderson could fit all 3 of those things. All 3 of them. And could be the biggest impact rookie the Patriots have this year. Which would be a shame because the other guy picked ahead of him as a left tackle. Allegedly. But the guy can catch the ball a little bit, man. 27 catches for Ohio State last year. Over 10 yards a catch. And again, that's not something they really did a lot. And what I find super interesting about this is the last time you used kind of a premium pick on a running back was Sony Michel in the 1st round back in 2018. And remember, that's what Sony was supposed to be coming out of college. He was the pass-catching back. You know, he had played with Chubb and Gurley overlapping at Georgia. Those guys were the every down backs. Sony, who was more or less the every down back his last year there in 2017, Sony was the pass-catching back, the 3rd down back. And they drafted him in the 1st round, and he was never that. I don't know if he caught a pass in his time in New England. And in that 1st year, he was a tough running in between the tackles, every down running back, especially in that playoff run. So he did give them something in that year for sure. But in terms of what they were looking for from Sony Michel, they were kind of sold a bag of goods. And what I really wonder about this rise of Travion Henderson, does he eventually unseat Ramondre Stevenson sooner rather than later? I think that's a question that needs to be asked if Travion Henderson is going to be this special. We kind of saw Ramondre do it with Damian Harris in his first 2 seasons. Ramondre looked so special that it was like, Harris is pretty expendable now. He gets hurt. Ramondre had a down year last year, and there was all kinds of factors into that probably aren't Ramondre Stevenson's fault. Okay, the team was horrible. They were always playing from behind. They had the worst offensive line in football. They had a rookie quarterback. They had no kind of threat in the passing game. Okay, all of those are factors as to why Ramondre Stevenson was under 4 yards a carry for the first time in his career. But he also had a career high 6 fumbles. 6 fumbles. Almost doesn't matter whose fault that is. If you don't take care of the football, that's not helping the team. You're gone. And they couldn't bench him. Remember, they said they were going to bench him, and they couldn't do it. Either because Gerard Mayo was a pussy or because they just had nothing behind him. Probably a little bit of both. Now you got something behind him. Now you got a guy in Travion Henderson who, again, is probably not an every down back right away, right in 2025 as a rookie. But he could absolutely become that in the future, and this could be the beginning of the end for Ramondre Stevenson. He fumbles 4 or 5 more times this year, and you're looking on the bench and saying, you know what? We got Travion Henderson, and we'll get someone else. We'll get an Antonio Gibson on the market. But Travion's going to be our guy. This could be the beginning of the procession for Ramondre Stevenson's time in New England. The franchise. Remember that? The franchise guy. $9 million a year. Bottom line is he was a frustrating player last year on a very frustrating team. And you've got in the second, third week of camp, everyone ranting and raving about the new guy they brought in at his position. Is Travion Henderson the secret to unlocking this Patriots offense? Let me know in the comment section below. Is this the end of Ramondre Stevenson as we know him, the New England Patriot? Let me know in the comment section. Be sure to like and subscribe. Over 90% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. It helps us out a ton. We're bringing you nothing but Boston sports content 5 days a week, live on YouTube at noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air, and we will see you tomorrow on another edition of a little ditty that we like to call The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. We understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit TwoSains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.